Hello friends. On August 26th, another titled Tuesday evening went down, and the winner of this event scored an insane 10.5 out of 11. But today, let's break down one of this beast's games, the clash Magnus Carlsen versus Tuan Minh, and you can try to guess who this monster is. Magnus kicked things off with the humble e3. Nothing wrong with that, because if black goes e5, boom, we are in English opening. Basically a reverse Sicilian. Instead, we got d5, and suddenly we are in a well-known setup. White develops the dark squared bishop to the long diagonal sniper in position, keeping the d-pawn home, so the scope stays wide open. Minh answers right back, the bishop breaks free, escaping the pawn chain, turning into a sniper. Magnus preps castling, and Wonderful Time shuts the door with his bishop. Viking mode activated. Magnus is hunting the mammoth bishop. Retreat made. The fianchetto is complete, and black rolls out the cavalry. Magnus tucks the king to safety. Zero's on the way. Tuan Minh is setting up the short castle. The Norwegian does not rush the trades, because opening lines here would just invite pressure. And already, that pawn is under serious fire. Black is cranking up the pressure. He's guarding the knight, in case the enemy horsey jumps in with tempo. Wonderful Time keeps the option of castling either way. Meanwhile, Magnus rolls his pawns on the queen side, preparing for the triple zeros, long castle style. Only after black finally commits with the king does Magnus exchange on g6. And out of the opening, white has not achieved much. Sure, the bishop pair could shine later, but right now, no clear path. Exactly Carlsen style, low risk, squeeze forever. Magnus plants a pawn in the center, blocking black's e5, because opening up would only favor white. Tuan Minh goes for the clinch, locking the pawns. And suddenly, the black knights are the agile beasts on the board. Here is the paradox. Bishops love open boards, knights love it closed. But Magnus flips the script and shuts it down anyway. Black refuses to surrender another inch. The knight tucks back to h7, passive but solid. Black hits back with f5, and the dark squared bishop turns into a sad elephant, trunk hanging. Magnus focuses on the f-file. Wonderful Time counters on the king side. Magnus lifts the rook, queen stacks up behind. And then boom, he rips the file open. Trades follow. Pressure shifts to the g-file. Here comes the white archer, charging ahead solo, dreaming of a comeback. The queen x-rays the king. Magnus shifts him aside. Minh brings another fighter into the attack. Magnus, under pressure, plays bishop d3, ready to kill the enemy Bucephalus if it jumps to e4. The plan, crack b5, swap rooks and double attack. But black's pawns on e6 and g5 are suddenly shaky. Maybe black should have just gone for mass trades on f4 and kept the kingside fire burning. Instead, Minh starts play where he is weaker. White has 5 pieces aimed, black only 2. Magnus crashes through on b5. Black counter-attacks the knight. Rooks disappear into the tunnel. Carlsen retreats his knight to e2. Black wins a pawn. Probably the Vietnamese grandmaster's idea, but the b-pawns are weak. Magnus highlights it instantly after b3. White replies with f3, and the pawn is toast. So Wonderful Time goes back to the kingside push. But why ruin the queenside? No clue. Magnus munches a pawn. Black brings in a knight. White gobbles another, and now has a protected passer. At this point, Magnus just needs to smother the counterplay on cruise into the endgame. But here comes the twist. With 1 minute and 50 seconds on his clock, Magnus thinks for 2 seconds and blunders horribly. Looks like white is attacking a rook and a pawn. But Wonderful Time drops the bigger bomb. Mate is stronger. Who knows what Magnus did with his desk, keyboard, or mouse? But that rook slam was real, and the Viking was tilted. The king runs, but there are no more steps left. The mate net is already there. Escape fails. Black smashes on h2, rook under fire, checks raining, only move, king d3, then f4, only defense is knight takes. Check from g3, mate on f2. Block with bishop. Does not work. Check from h2. f4 follows. King to e2 gets mated on f1. If white recaptures a 4, it is mate from g3. Brutal calculation. Seeing this, the 16th world champion pushes a pawn. Black snaps it. King to g2. Rook rushes back. Black drives a pawn deeper with check. Retreat with 3 fails. Rook drops. Mate follows. Even king h1 does not help. Check. King g1 blocked. Pawn promotes with mate. Magnus tries to sack material, tries to block, but it is hopeless. Black cranks up the pressure, threatening check with a pawn ready to queen. Magnus tries to buy his way out with a bishop. Tuan Minh isn't backing down. He's aiming straight at the first rank invasion. The white pieces are hanging on by a thread, defending with the last drops of strength. Black eats the bishop, threatens mate again. White queen on defense, but black keeps hammering. Queen check on f3, double attack. White collapses. After queen b3, the white position just crumbles. Blocking with the queen is impossible. You drop material on the spot. And if the king tries to run, white is forced to cough up the queen anyway. On move 43, Magnus Carlsen resigns. What a run! Tuan Minh scored 10.5 out of 11, taking down Carlsen, Svidlar, Grishchuk, and Shakria Mamedrov along the way. Now the big question, when will this online beast start showing the same fireworks in over-the-board play? So friends, leave a comment, smash that like button, subscribe to my awesome chess, and hit the bell, because chess is awesome.